All right, welcome back to the Full Send Podcast. We have an interesting episode today. Bryan Johnson, I really enjoyed this one. If you guys have not downloaded the PrizePicks app and tried it for firing on sports, you're missing out. It's NFL playoffs, literally watching NFL playoffs and locking in a PrizePicks with your boys at the same time. There's no fucking better feeling than sweating that. Also, you guys have seen me promoting it. I am running a 100-mile race. If you're watching this, I'm probably running it right now and we're live on Kick. What's crazy is PrizePicks, you can actually fire on my 100-mile race. So if you go to the PrizePicks app and you go to the culture section and then entertainment, you can literally fire on so many different things. How long the first mile is gonna take, how long it's gonna take me to finish. There's so many people actually firing on this. Now I know what it's like to be a fighter and people are like firing on you, it's crazy. Also, UFC this weekend, first fight of the year, Patty, Gaethje, our boy Sugar Sean's fighting. It's a great card. We're gonna be locking in some PrizePicks for that. Stay tuned for that. Also, if you guys are a first-time user, use code NELK, put in $5 with that code and you're gonna get $50 for free. Shout out to PrizePicks, the best app in the game to fire on sports. I gotta go run 100 miles. Let's get in the pod.
Is the toilet paper in the bathroom brown or is it just lighting?
Yeah, bamboo.
Oh, okay. We got to talk about that.
Yeah. Did you try it?
I did a test wipe. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Hey, it's
I
good.
know it's your house, but I had to try it out. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, we tested for kids.
It's honestly kind of soft too.
Good experience.
I was impressed by it. Yeah.
Yeah, like out of 5 stars, how many would you give it?
It's like eco-friendly.
Yeah, well, basically, you're trying to eliminate toxins.
Yeah.
So, like, don't die is like find everything that could kill you and don't do that.
What's wrong with conventional toilet paper?
But the thing is, everything has toxins. Foods, air, water, clothing, like it's just everywhere. And so identifying where those toxins are and then trying to minimize those. What's that?
It's in.
Are you doing it now?
I just have one in, yeah. I like doing it when
Is
we
that
have
okay?
pods.
It's for your crib.
Is that cool?
House
No,
rules.
it's cool. It's actually cool.
Yeah.
The problem though, it creates vasodilation.
It's in?
Yeah.
And that's bad?
So yeah, so it will make so basically you have less blood flow to your face, which will make your face age.
Ah.
What about this thing? Vapes.
That's way worse for sure.
Vape? Yeah.
Here.
Not a good idea.
What's something that we don't know as people about vapes that you could tell us?
I mean, it's just not good. It's not something that makes your lungs better or your body better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at some of the biomarkers, you'll see that it could have some negative effects.
How'd you go for being like a tech wizard? And I want to talk about that because that's an interesting story too, but to learning all about the biohacking stuff. Like, how did you learn all this stuff?
I love to read history. And when you go back hundreds of years, you see certain times where people saw certain things. They saw the future. And that if people were to stop and say, I see it too, they could have lived, better lives. For example, like in 1870, there was a crazy idea that microscopic objects called bacteria are the source of infection. And so when that new idea came out, people were like, that's stupid. Like half the people were. And so the reaction in the community was half the people doctors were not called gentlemen. They couldn't practice. They didn't want to be in the community practicing the medicine because they didn't believe in this new idea. Turns out bacteria is real. It can cause infection. It can lead to death. And so if you hear that idea and you're like, that's stupid, you might die. And so the question is, what ideas are there in the world right now that are actually true? And if they are true, may actually be in your best interest to do those things. So that was the goal. So I think basically the insight is I'm trying to achieve immortality by the year 2039.
Wait. 2039.
You're 47?
48.
48?
14 years from now.
That's right.
Immortality?
Basically longevity, escape velocity, where 1 year of time passes and you can stay the same age biologically.
So wait, define immortality. That? Or is it
basically it's just like once you arrest biological aging, you still have the risk of getting killed in some accident, but you're not going to die of cancer or of metabolic, of cardiovascular disease or something else. So you take away the biggest risk factor for death. And so I think there's error bars around that, but I think it's reasonable as a target. But yeah, I mean, my team and I are currently targeting that as a date where a year will pass and I will stay the same age. And not only that, I'll be, so that's 14 years, so I'll be 62 chronologically. But if the technology is actually advances the way we think, my body would probably be closer to a 20-year-old.
Really?
When you say that too, you're talking about like your heart and your brain will stay the same age?
That's right.
How do you control that?
So, I mean, there's technologies now. So like, think about like this, where when when a man and a woman procreate, the man contributes a sperm, the woman contributes an egg. They combine. And so even though, the father may be 30 years old, the mother may be 30 years old, when those two things combine, it basically goes back to zero, right? The baby starts at zero. And so our bodies already have the ability to take aged cells and make it zero. And there's new technologies that do that outside of procreation. So you can take an adult cell, like one of your cells, and take it back to zero. It's not fully developed yet where you just can't do it today, but that you can basically reverse time in biology.
So what are the ways you test that where your body is staying the same age? Like how do you, what is it considered right now?
So it depends on the body part. So for example, like I'm the most measured person in human history. And so we've measured the biological age of my brain, but you can measure 20 or 50 different age markers of the brain. You can measure the age of your heart, your lungs, your pancreas, your liver. You can measure like hundreds of biological ages for the body. So for example, one of my oldest ages is my left ear. It's age 64. Because I shot a lot of guns. What's that?
64?
64.
What about the right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like 45.
45. Wow.
Yeah.
So you have better hearing in your right ear.
Exactly. So I shot guns as a kid, and I also listened to a lot of music. Shot kids, yeah. Scratch that one.
Clip it.
Yeah, clip it. So yeah, I have hearing damage in my left ear. And so, but then like in other ways, like if you look at my blood glucose control, my cardiovascular ability, my fertility, my DNA, they're all roughly age 18. So in many ways, my body runs like an 18-year-old, like a legit 18-year-old. And in other ways, my body is old, like my ear or the markers.
So when you wake up, you feel like you're in an 18-year-old body. You have like more energy.
I do.
Walk us through your daily routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about 5 hours long. So the morning begins the night before. I go to bed at 8:30. I try to be on time every night, like within like 15 minutes.
So what time do you sneak into bed then, if you're asleep by 8:30?
Like 8:20. I typically have a book in my hand and I'll read for 10 minutes. Try to be in bed and I'll fall asleep within 1 minute.
But I saw recently you got a girl now, right, too? So does that switch up the bedtime a little bit?
No, because we don't sleep in the same bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
ever?
That's a good tactic for sleeping better for sure.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, sleeping together is crazy.
I agree.
It gets annoying.
Do what you got to do and then go to the other room. That's
Right.
that's where I'm at.
Especially when the girl wants to like cuddle all night.
Yeah.
Like you got to like cuddle and then it's like, okay, turn over to your side so I could actually, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
So I go to bed at 8:30. I sleep for 8 hours. I'll wake up like at 4:35 naturally, and then I do like a 5-hour routine. So I'll do 10 minutes of breath work. I'll then get a light into my eyes, 10,000 lux. This is like sunlight equivalent. I'll eat a breakfast with some protein. Then I'll work out for an hour. I'll do sauna for 20 minutes, and then I'll do hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And then my morning routine wraps.
What's something you do in your daily routine that you secretly like don't like doing?
I love it.
You love everything.
I
about it.
love it so much. It's like my daily ritual. It's like my daily prayer. And when I don't get to do it, I'm ornery.
Do you cold plunge too?
I don't.
Is that what you don't think it's good?
There's just not evidence. It doesn't pass the evidence bar as a longevity therapy. It may make you feel good, which is cool, but there's not evidence that it's actually good longevity therapy.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's like the new thing, right? Everyone's cold plunging. I love doing it. I love the way it makes me feel like right when I get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great high.
Yeah.
You're saying there's no studies that prove that it benefits the human body?
There's benefits. There's some feel-good effects, there's some other potential benefits, but as a longevity therapy, like what we've tried to say is like, in the world of things you can do for your health, the list is endless. And so you have to narrow it down some way and say, what do I do and what don't I do? And so the filter we use is we said, what things will slow down my speed of aging or extend or reverse age? But we're basically trying to get to that immortality point where we're trying to get to the point where my body stops aging.
When did you become so focused on this?
42.
So after you made your money, right?
Exactly.
It seems like you have to be worth at least 100 million to like have even this thought that this is possible.
If I had somebody in my life who could have coached me in my 20s to do this, I would do it. I just didn't know. I bought the story that when you are in your 20s and you're ambitious, the script is to grind. You don't sleep much, you don't eat well, you don't exercise, and you kind of just tolerate it because it's what you do. And you want to kind of brag about you're kind of cool with 3 and 4 hours of sleep, and it's kind of a flex. but you're just kind of wearing yourself down. And so
I think the other point though is like when you're in your 20s, you're not worried about death as much as you are as you get whatever
That's right.
later in life. So
right.
if you changed in your 20s, how much would that change your position now?
like my son is 20 and he's been doing this with me for the past 4 years, and I envy him. Like to imagine doing this when you're 16 years old, because even in your 20s, when you don't feel it that much, you're still accumulating the damage. Your body still has the wear and tear. And then when the 30s hit and 40s, it all of a sudden manifests in these pretty brutal ways. But it basically, it's a hidden cost. It's like you're spending money from a bank account and you can't see that bank account is going negative.
So what's like the supplement regimen after you finish your morning routine?
I take about, I'm probably in the range of like 30-ish pills right now.
And is that based on like your blood work?
Maybe 15% of it. Most of it is generic, like creatine, for example, vitamin D, vitamin E. So basic things that everyone gets on a daily basis.
Going back to, and I'm sure this is like the most common question you get, but we're going to use your son as an example because he's 20.
Yeah.
His life is going to change drastically, and people might say he's not even really living if he's only focused on living forever at an early age, because 20 is young. So do you think he's going to miss out on certain things that he can enjoy in life when he's so hyper-focused on what you're doing as well?
It's a good question. And this is probably the most common question I get is people see what I do and they say, bro's so busy trying to not die, he ain't living. Right? It's like the most common thing. And what they're getting at is they're basically saying in 2025, humans have an understanding of life that we do these death rituals as part of who we are. So for example, it's acceptable and normal to get 3 hours of sleep under your desk, drink on the weekends, do all your thing. That's living. And the irony is it's actually slow boil suicide, but our culture calls it living. And so it's really weird. So if you just fast forward in time to 2035, those that exist in 2035, like the podcast that takes place in 2035 here, will look back at 2025 and be like, those motherfuckers were killing themselves and thinking it was cool. Like, that's so weird. So we're just in a moment in time where we can't see it.
It definitely is transitioning though. Like health is in.
Yeah.
I
mean, you can't be the only guy who's trying this out right now, right?
I've heard some crazy stories of like Saudi princes or like Middle Eastern.
I think like Elon has
people in the UAE are like creating labs and like taking like cells from babies and like trying to do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard any of those stories?
Yeah, I know all these people. Yeah, people.
You guys have a group chat?
I mean, yes.
Nice.
People are doing a variety of things for their health, and you're right, it is changing. It still weirdly hasn't crossed total zeitgeist, where there's still like leftover ideas of that if you're not doing these, if you're not drinking, letting loose, and having a fast food meal every once in a while, you're not fully living life. So there's still some hangover on that.
Did you ever eat fast food? Or
Yeah, I did.
When was your last fast food meal?
I had chili cheese fries a couple years ago because my oldest son was like, Dad, I don't know if I believe this. You're really into this. And I was like, all right, let's give it a go. So I said, I'll eat whatever you want me to eat. So he got me some chili cheese fries.
They're probably fire though, right?
I got so sick. I ate like, I don't know, maybe 10. And I thought, this is bad news. I already feel the situation and this is going to be bad.
Yeah. Did you keep it down or did you throw it up?
No, I stopped and he let me stop, but I was sick for a while.
How about drinking? Do you ever drink? Back in the ever?
Not much. I was raised Mormon, so we didn't drink. And then I left the Mormon church. I had a couple of years where I was kind of experimented with alcohol, but never more than a few times.
What do you think is the biggest thing people do that makes them age faster?
Sleep.
Yeah. Not alcohol, just sleep. Sleep's number one, you think?
So the reason why I would identify sleep is when you don't sleep well, your prefrontal cortex goes offline and your willpower plummets. So that means the next day in the morning when you can either eat the croissant or eat the bowl of berries, you're going to eat the croissant. Because even though you don't want to, you know how it's going to make you feel, then when lunch arrives, you have the big cookie and whatever, you just can't hold yourself back. And so that's why sleep, because sleep kills willpower. Willpower just pummels you. Then when you engage in those bad habits, you lose even more willpower. So when people feel out of control, it's usually because they have no willpower reserve left. They've spent all of it, and they're just an animal, just like kind of succumb to their passions.
You have the highest sleep score, right?
I do.
I think I saw that. What is it?
The marker of good sleep is you want to, when your head hits a pillow, you want to be asleep within a few minutes' time.
Mm-hmm.
2 is once you're asleep, you want to stay asleep. You don't want to be up several times. Then you want roughly 2 hours of REM and roughly 2 hours of deep. That's like restorative metrics you would see on a wearable, Whoop or an Apple Garmin.
What do you wear?
I wear Whoop, and I have a bed that tracks it as well. All of them are the wearables.
What bed do you have? Like, what kind of bed do you have?
8 sleep.
8 sleep?
Yeah.
Does that make a huge difference?
It does.
How much are those?
I think
Like 3K, right? Or something like that?
thereabouts, and I think maybe the topper is a bit less.
So what does that do?
It does temperature control.
And that's a huge thing?
The body's very sensitive to temperature. So
When did you get that bed?
years ago.
And how, like, does it really change a lot?
It's one of the reasons why I hate traveling so much.
See, that's why I don't want to get one.
It does. It ruins it.
Really?
sure.
Because people have told me to get one, but we travel so much that I'm like, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I already don't like sleeping in some hotels.
Yeah, I'm going to get one for sure. I didn't know they were that cheap. What is the biggest effect that it keeps you asleep or it makes you fall asleep faster?
It's the routines. So the body wants to be on a schedule. It wants to do things at a certain time, and it's your circadian rhythm. So I build my entire life around my circadian rhythm. That's why when I go to bed at 8:30, it's precisely at 8:30 because the body says, I want to go to bed right now. So it's spinning up all these biological processes. If you wait and go to bed at 11:30, which a lot of people do that and they think, oh, that's fine. I can just sleep in that much longer the next morning. It doesn't work that way. So for example, like one reason why is at 8:30 p.m., my body's kickstarting a process where a trash collector rolls through my body and it picks up garbage. And if I'm not asleep at 8:30, the trash collector doesn't come. So the garbage builds up in my body. So as an example, so you can't miss your bedtime and let those processes happen.
What's 3 tips for like improving your sleep?
Number 1 is have your final meal of the day 4 hours before bed. So if your bedtime is 10 p.m., don't eat after 6. No
And that
snacks.
just keeps you asleep longer, or just deep?
It gives your body time to digest.
Mm.
And when your body has that distance, it will lower its body temperature. You'll have blood glucose will be down. Your melatonin is produced. So it gets the body in a more relaxed state. If you have eaten like a half hour, an hour before, your body's busy digesting. You have higher blood glucose. Your body's hotter. You have longer sleep onset. So sleep or eat 4 hours before bed. Number 2 is you need like an hour wind down routine. So if your bedtime's 10 p.m., when 9 p.m. comes, you want to have screens off and spend that hour like doing things that relax you. Read a book, breath work, meditation, hang out with a friend, call a family member, anything but be on your screen.
TV's not as bad as phone, right?
It depends.
Phone is the
not as close
worst
to your
before
face.
sleep, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
Phone's so bad. Like when you're scrolling through, but it's so hard not to sometimes, but that just makes your mind just,
It keeps you awake. And especially if you wake up in the middle of the night and you grab your phone, you're screwed.
I never do that.
That's the worst thing ever. It's
fucked. I never
changed.
do that.
It's fucked me up. What was the third?
Probably something positive, such as reading a book for 10 minutes. Is it like just before you go to bed, a book in hand and read it for 10 minutes. And that is as powerful as a sleep medication, but that helps wind your body down.
I don't know, but as powerful.
Well, it depends on what you're taking. There's levels to it.
I think I think actually on some metrics, it's more powerful than sleep meds. It's really, I mean, look at the evidence. It's really good.
Well, I actually saw something recently. Someone sent me that like melatonin studies are being done that it affects your heart. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, what's up with
Do you
that?
have
'Cause I take
melatonin?
it every night.
You
I
do?
take 5 milligrams. Yeah, because I have trouble sleeping.
You like melatonin?
I do 300 mcg, so a third of a milligram.
Wow.
Of melatonin?
Yeah.
You think it's too high right now? Like 10 milligrams the highest.
I feel like
very high.
every kid takes
Salim
it.
Chow's melatonin.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, it's hard for me to sleep within like 20 minutes of being on my bed. Like I stay on my phone too. So I knock out melatonin, and then 30 minutes after I'll be done. I'll be out to sleep.
So this would be my bet is you could actually stop taking melatonin if you eat 4 hours before bed, get off your phone 60 minutes before bed, and read a book. And that will be 10x more powerful than melatonin.
Yeah.
Are you going to try it out?
Reading's tough. I'll try reading.
You can't do an audiobook. You have to actually read too.
Let me try. Do the experiment. Do both. I think
The phone's the worst, right?
it is.
It's the worst too, phone right in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's so like, I'll go through phases where like I won't touch my phone right in the morning and I'll try to like not, but it's so hard.
Yeah, it's the toughest thing ever.
I could see the digesting part, like eating 4 hours before.
Yeah.
I mean, not having so much in your stomach and then, going to sleep right away. It's like, you're having so much in your stomach.
Yeah,
So, I can agree with that.
I'll tell you guys this, that people who have been around me for several years now, and they've heard me say these things, and it's kind of landed, but they haven't done it for a variety of reasons. Then they finally do it. They come back to me and they say, this is the most significant life-changing thing I have ever had. Because once you start sleeping well, everything in your life changes. Everything.
So do you not wake up at all?
No. I mean, occasionally I'll
Do you ever go to the bathroom in the middle of the night?
Occasionally.
I've
I've
do.
been trying to cut off my water by a certain time.
Yeah.
I go to bed, I piss in the middle of the night probably twice.
Yeah.
Too.
If I do once, that's like a good night.
What's your...
But I drink a lot of water.
Yeah. At what time?
I mean, I will drink it like before bed too.
It's like you got to cut off.
But I'm also working out a lot and like running, so
Yeah.
I need to drink a lot of water too.
Yeah.
But it's like,
So one thing you can do on that is, do you use electrolytes at all?
Yeah.
Okay. How much?
Like 1,000 milligrams a day.
Okay. You could try to increase that.
Increase it,
a little bit.
just to hold the water.
You know what I hate is going to the bathroom right before you gotta sleep. Like, fuck, like you're getting up and
I know,
like,
right?
Should I just piss real quick? Yeah, why not? And then
Yeah. Exactly.
You have to do that.
So you guys could try this for the liquid thing. I try to stop drinking fluids around 4 p.m. So I hydrate very heavily in the morning. So I've been consuming around 4,000 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium per day.
What?
Because I work out really hard, so I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
And I do sauna. I do 200 degrees in a dry sauna. And so we've been measuring my sodium levels, my potassium, my magnesium, because I thought this might be too much, but my levels are still in the ideal range. But I've been heavily hydrating with electrolytes, because sometimes...
And what do you take for electrolytes? Like what?
My company has...
Okay.
Yeah, we buy our own stuff. We test it for toxins and stuff like that. But by having the right electrolyte balance, that will help you stop urinating. So if you drink too much water and your electrolyte balance is off, you'll urinate more.
Because you're not holding the water, right?
Exactly. That's right. So if you have the proper electrolyte balance and you push earlier in the day, you can reduce the probability you'll wake up. And then the other way you can actually address the wake up and then not back to sleep is, that's all about the wind down routine. So right before bed, if you're on your phone, you're scrolling, you're texting, you're doing work, you're spinning up thoughts that are arousing you. So you fall asleep and you wake back up. That's the first thing you're thinking about, right? The thing you're doing just before bed.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that nails you. That's why this wind down routine is so important. You need to say like, I'm going to calm my body down, even though it's painful. Like everyone's addicted to
No, you're so right. You're so right.
Well, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Oh, don't look at my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you look at your phone? How long after you wake up?
Depends on if there's something pressing going on, but typically 30, 60, 90 minutes, something like that.
Do you have like an emergency phone in your room?
I don't.
No.
And you have no alarm.
No.
Do you just wake up? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what you said at 42, you thought about this. Was there one specific reason you were like, okay, I want to live forever? Or did something change in your life where you're like, I got to attempt this?
Well, it's just a question. If you lived in the year, 1600 or 1700 or 1800, the question would be, what is the one thing in existence that you could do that would matter a few hundred years from now? And there's typically only one or two things per generation that has that kind of longevity. And sometimes people are born into a time and place where there's just not many things you can do. But before technology really was rolling, it was maybe a great book, or maybe it was, political accomplishments or some other form of artistry. Now, I think the most epic thing that a human could aspire to right now is to not die. And so that's why when I was 42, I thought, like, what goal would I want to have? That's the apex goal that a human can have on planet Earth in this time right now.
Do you think that's positive for everybody though, to have that goal to live forever? Because I feel like it's kind of case dependent.
But so you think you'll never die?
I think that's the first time that a human can realistically have that goal in our history. Since Earth was formed, it is the first time that a biological species could say, we may not die.
And based on that goal, are you relying on like the future of like medicine and science as well? Like not what's currently available?
100%.
What do you think is going to become like we said, 10 years from now? What's going to be, different, and what's going to be more accessible?
I mean, there's things, for example, like we'll probably be able to replace our organs. You'll probably be able to replace your kidney with a new kidney. That's pretty straightforward. We can do kidney transplants. There are some things like the brain is going to be really hard. So we have to figure out how do you reverse the age in the brain. That's going to be probably the hardest one. There's new therapies that people are working on right now where you can just reverse the age of your cells from, 48-year-old cell back to a baby. And so there's risks with that technology because there's off-target effects. Like you could create cancer with that. So they need to fix it up. But still, there's a possibility that in some near time frame, you get a therapy that wipes out 10 years of your biological age.
And this biohacking space is so new still, right? Like with medicine and the way it's advancing in science, I can only imagine what's going to be available.
I feel like you have to get some backlash because being a human, I feel like part of it is death, right? And I think for some people, there's like that daily pressure that you're going to die one day, so you want to accomplish as much as you can in your life.
Yeah.
But that changes if you're trying to live forever. So do people come after you for like everything you're trying to do?
Certainly. And if you go back in time, you look at the big shifts that have happened in society. Universal human rights was not a thing. It just became a thing recently. And there's been major ideas, or democracy, that somebody could vote. So ideas change, society changes, people's expectations of the world change. And so in 2035, it could just be common wisdom that it's not a good idea to die. Where you look back at 2025 and you're looking at them like historical figures and being like, they just accepted death and they had this YOLO mentality, which is why a lot of people do stuff. They'll drink and smoke and not sleep well and not eat well because they'll say, what else am I going to do, bro? Like, how else am I going to live life? Like, you're not living life. But they're just under a certain moral framework that will be outdated. They don't understand how fast things are changing.
It is important too, though. Like, financial situation is going to change everything. Because someone who doesn't or has to go to work every day, like you were successful. I know you weren't rich your whole life, but there's people that work at the corner coffee shop that go to a 9 to 5 that aren't even, this isn't even crossing their mind because they don't think it's possible for them. Yeah. So it's situational.
In some ways, though, but the thing that any person has, most people have access to is if they need emergency help, there's a medical infrastructure that could actually help them. Whereas that wasn't the case, before. Or when they drink water out of a tap, it's clean. There's like someone watching out for them. There's not toxins. Or when they get certain food supplies. So we do, as a society, we've built up these really basic things to increase the health and wellness of society generally. It's not perfect,
right?
But my goal is not just for me. My goal is for everybody. And so people, when I bring that, they'll say, well, aren't you worried about overpopulation? Like, sure, like that's a downstream problem. But my goal is to say, hey, humanity, this is an epic situation. And it'd be a good idea for all of us to say, let's give it a go. It's kind of the coolest adventure we could go on.
What about like wrinkles?
Yeah.
Do you get Botox?
I don't.
So you can stop. You think you can look this way when you're 80?
With the technologies coming, yeah, I think so. I'm better.
But what do you got to tell somebody? You look like that and you got to tell somebody, hey, I'm 80. Like they're going to assume you're like probably 40.
Yeah. No,
so you see someone in public and you're 80 years old and you look like that, it's going to throw people off.
Exactly. And there'll probably be like telltale signs. It would be something like, we have figured out how to de-age the skin. We figured out how to whatever, but we can't stop the ears from growing. Like as you age, your ears get bigger. And so the telltale sign may be something like I'm biologically 18, but my ears are like a 64-year-old. And we haven't been able to solve that. Minus a total ear transplant, which is just too complicated. So I'm guessing there will be things we can't solve, which will ultimately reveal someone's true age.
Yeah.
But they won't be at risk of a heart attack or cancer because the risk will be in check because they're biologically young.
What's the oldest person to ever live right now? Do you know?
If I'm not mistaken, it's 121, thereabouts. 124, somewhere there.
So you think in our lifetime, how old will people be living?
I think it's a possibility that we just won't have a cap. If we get to a point by 2039, for example, right now, my speed of aging is 0.50, which means for every 12 months that pass, I age 6 months. So I'm aging at half the normal speed. So that's been one of our primary goals, is slow down your speed of aging. So you're accumulating less aging damage. If I could slow my speed of aging down to 0.25, let's just make it up, then for every year I only age 3 or 4 months. And with that certain amount of aging, if I can reverse that aging damage with therapies, I'm back to zero on that year, right? I haven't aged. So that's the goal, is slow it down as much as you can. Then whatever you do age, get therapies to reverse that.
So what are you doing besides just like the stuff everyone can do in terms of obviously good sleep, good diet? Like, are you doing any like cell stuff for the cells or like stem cell?
There's really honestly not been any fancy therapies that have worked. I've tried them all. I've done stem cells, I've done exosomes.
Are those bullshit?
They just need to be specifically done for a certain thing, and they need to be medical grade. But otherwise, a lot of people hear stem cell, like, people hear words,
and it's
like,
expensive, right?
It's expensive.
A lot of celebs are getting.
They hear stem cells, they hear peptides, they hear red light therapy, and they think good. But it's not as clean as that. There's nuances. It's good in some contexts and bad in other contexts. They're not characterized fully. There's some risks. So it's just complicated. But a lot of people just hear them and think, good, I'm going to do it. But it's not the case.
So what are you doing that's so different? Like, I mean, all you said so far was like good sleep, going to bed at a good time.
What about for your
The
heart?
light, like,
How do you keep your heart young?
Best therapy I do by far is the avoidance of harm.
which is
number one thing. I don't do fast
being
food.
sober and stuff, and being healthy.
I don't consume sugar. I go to bed on time. I don't sit for long periods of time. I don't breathe toxic air. I don't drink toxic water. I just avoid harm. And that is probably the most effective therapy I do.
How much money do you think you've spent on trying to stay young?
About 5 million. But that money's primarily allocated towards researchers and scientists who do all the research. Like we've been trying to go to the literature and say what things do work. Because the key is figuring out what works and how you do it. So for example, if I didn't have that kind of research, I might be spending my time cold plunging, which wouldn't have the effects that we're looking for. Or I might be doing something like juicing all the time, because if we think juice cleanses are like the key to, but that wouldn't have the effects we want. So we need to figure out in a very precise manner what to do, what not to do, and then spin up all the tests. So the majority of the money I've spent has been on research and then testing myself, trying to measure everything in my body.
So you're kind of using yourself as like a test dummy for the future?
Yeah.
In a way?
Yeah.
I wonder if like when you turn, we'll go 175, you're going to be like, all right, I'm over this shit. Like, has that hit your mind? Like there might be a point where I'm just going to be over it.
This is such a fun thought experiment. Today's Wednesday. Do you have stuff going on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Friday?
Yeah.
So when you're 175 and I ask you the same question, you're going to tell me you're doing something. So living for tomorrow and living forever are the same ideas. It's just when a human thinks about living forever, it breaks their brain. They're like, I would be bored. But if you put it in the frame of living for tomorrow, you always have something to do tomorrow. It's the same idea. Living forever is just tomorrow.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you got money, because you're going to have grandkids on grandkids forever.
Great.
Can you imagine that reunion?
Grandkids.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. It's going to be 5,000 people
Thanksgiving's
there.
going to get out of control.
Totally out of control. But I want to be very clear. Everything I learn, I share with everyone in the world for free. I don't charge for it. I don't gate it. I share everything, what works, what doesn't work. I encourage people to follow these practices. And this is not about me achieving immortality. It's about helping everybody achieve, I say immortality because it's like an interesting idea, but really it's about being healthy right now.
What's the biggest cause of death, besides like a car crash or like anything like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's cardiovascular disease, if I'm not mistaken, but I need to look that up. It's a good question.
How about like cancer? Because like a lot of people die from cancer.
Yeah, I mean, for example, in India, they would do more for their population by correcting for air pollution than by curing cancer. So there's different toxins have different costs.
What do you think is like, do you have a theory or like, do you know anything about the causes of cancer and like?
I mean, mechanistically, we know what happens. We know, at a cellular level, we know what happens. We know what happens when you can increase the risk of cancer. When your body's in poor health, you have a higher risk of cancer occurring. When you're older, you have a higher risk of cancer occurring. When your immune system's not as good. So like, for example, when you get 4 hours of sleep per night or less for a few days, your NK cells, which are the cells that survey your body for cancer, they go down in activity by roughly 70%. So a way to increase risk of cancer is low sleep. because when you don't get adequate sleep, your body is so stressed about the situation, it stops looking for cancer by 70%.
So what's your diet like?
The philosophy is that every calorie has to fight for its life. We went through all the scientific evidence. We ranked all foods and we said, what are the power law foods? So I don't want to just eat any random food. I want to find the healthiest food in the world, the second healthiest in the world, and the third, if you can rank it like that. So it's basically a lot of legumes, which are beans, lentils, edamame, berries, nuts, seeds, extra virgin olive oil is basically what I eat.
You take olive oil shots, right?
Yeah.
Do you like those or no?
Yeah, they're good.
Like
I eat olive oil with everything. I eat more calories with olive. I consume more calories via olive oil than any food in my diet.
So are you vegan?
I don't use those words.
But you don't eat meat?
I don't eat meat. I do consume collagen peptides, but the whole argument around paleo, carnivore, vegan, I just don't buy it.
How do you maintain muscle? You're not eating protein.
So I do 130 grams of protein per day.
And shakes or?
Yeah, it's pea and hemp protein.
Okay, gotcha.
Lentils, edamames, beans, collagen peptides. But yeah, my muscle mass is in the top 99th percentile of all men.
Wow.
How many of these guys do you see on the internet that try and do something like Liver King, right? When he had his phase, that are just trying to promote this stuff? Like, can you call them out right away and be like, that's bullshit?
I try not to call anyone out. I just say, measure your biomarkers and share them.
Yeah.
Eat whatever you want, do whatever protocol you want. I don't care. Whatever your ideology is, great. Just test your body and report it out.
Do you eat fruit?
I do. A lot of berries, blueberries, raspberries.
Do you have your girlfriend on the same regimen?
She's like the 80%, the 20% to get the 80% benefit.
You might be with her for a long time.
Exactly. She's it's taken her a few years to roll through. She used to eat a lot of she used to work at McDonald's and she actually ate McDonald's, but she's made a lot of life changes.
Did you ever eat McDonald's?
I did, yeah, as a kid.
What was your favorite?
All of it. Like as a kid, teenagers, like
McDonald's or Burger King?
It's fun. The Whopper was after a while the Big Mac gets old and you want to do the Whopper. Well, what's going on?
No,
No,
this
we're
is
just
a
famous for that
inside joke.
question. Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Is there something that you thought would work but didn't ever? Something you tried on yourself?
So many things. We did this therapy trying to rejuvenate my thymus, which is this gland right behind your sternum that takes care of your immune system. We did human growth hormone, and we did it for 100 days. It worked. It regenerated my thymus, but it gave me a whole bunch of side effects. Like it messed up my lipids and had intracranial pressure. I did plasma exchanges. So so you guys probably heard I took a liter of plasma from my son.
They took his blood, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Plasma. So the origin of that is that my father called me and he said, I'm experiencing cognitive decline, which is scary. And he said, I will do anything to have my wits about me. And so we were looking at this new therapy. There was a paper showing that a young mouse and an old mouse had been sewn together. They shared a circulatory system and the old mouse got younger. So there was this idea that if you take fluids from a young mouse and put it into an older mouse, that it would rejuvenate. So I did this with my dad. And when I did it with my dad, my son's like, hey, I'll do it as well. So we made it like a family thing. The cool thing is my dad, it dramatically improved his health. So it lowered his speed of aging by 25 years equivalent for 6 months. It had no effect in me though, because my health is pretty similar to my son, whereas my dad is not as good as health. And so it's very experimental therapy. It's going on in a bunch of trials right now, but that's one experimental thing I did where it didn't work, but it did work for my dad.
So your son,
Wow.
for you, it didn't work.
Exactly.
So
Interesting.
do you continue that with your dad too?
We haven't. I've told my dad I'm willing to, like, if he wants it. People think it's weird, but like there's millions of blood transfers every day. It's a very common thing. People give people actual organs, so it's a very common practice. That
I mean, this stuff's just so new too, right?
Yeah.
That it's like it sounds crazy, right?
The one thing I think about is how you're investing everything into this. So how cautiously do you move now from being afraid of an accidental death?
Yeah, like do you go in the car?
I do. That's the scariest thing I do.
Do you get scared going in the car?
Yeah, I know the risk profile. Yes,
It's fucking high, right?
And now, I'm more scared by others though, because I know everyone's on their fucking phones.
Is that the biggest accidental death fear? Is
Yeah.
being in the car?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Planes?
I feel safe in plane. I'm a pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so flying is so safe.
What conversation led you to get to this deep into everything that you're doing now? Like, was there a conversation when you first started, like with someone, or like what was that switch? Because there's always a switch.
Yeah, I did a thought experiment. I imagined being present in the year 2500, so a few hundred years from now, and I imagined being there listening to them, and they're looking back in time at us in the early 21st century, and they're saying, amazing that they did blank. And I thought, what would they say? Like, what would those guys say about our time and place? And I thought they would say, like, that's when humans gave birth to superintelligence, and that's when they figured out they weren't going to die. Obvious. In the same way, we look back at, the 90s, and we're like, yeah, the internet was born, and the internet breeds e-commerce, and e-commerce builds. We see these things as obvious of like this natural build process. So what's obvious to them that wouldn't be obvious to us today? So that was like, yeah, that sounds like it's right. Like, we're the first immortal generation.
It just seems like there has to be something else you're doing. That's just how it feels that we don't know about outside of what you've told us, right? How many people have come to you and been like, just rich people out there like, hey, can you help me live forever?
Oh yeah. Every week I've got some of the world's most powerful people who come to the house.
Anyone you can name?
I never talk about them because, they're doing their thing. But no, I mean, like, it's wild that I started doing this a couple of years ago, and people were like, who is this oddball? What's he doing? And then over the past couple of years, we've gotten a lot of credibility. And so now people show up and they just want to know, but they have no idea what, like, literally people think that wealthy people have it figured out. They do not. They're just as lost as everybody else. So I spend time, I usually get a group of like 10 or 15 people. We'll go through the whole house. I'll walk them through what works, what doesn't work, and get them on the right path.
So what was the light thing you said you do in the morning?
Oh, it's called 10,000 lux. So within like...
So that's not red light.
No.
Because everyone thinks red light, get in the sun right in the morning.
Yeah.
This is different?
Exactly. So to get your circadian rhythm locked in, there's so many benefits of getting light in eyes when you wake up. Within 15 to 30 minutes of waking up, you want to have light in your eyes, either from the sun or from a 10,000 lux device. And so if you
What's that? I never heard of that.
It's basically like, it looks like this almost.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a very similar pattern, but it won't damage your eyes.
So what, you look right into it?
You can just have it on the periphery where it's like basically just tossing out light. So you can be doing your morning routine, like brushing your teeth or reading or making your breakfast, and just have it present. And that will lock in your circadian rhythm.
I feel like the major thing you're going to see when these people come through is they're going to have to stop doing a lot of what they're doing and completely change their life. And that's not going to happen in most cases, right?
But anyone can do that. Anyone can, I mean, not anyone, but I think anyone can improve their sleep a little bit.
But you're going to have to do nearly everything that you're doing if they're trying to achieve the same goal.
So the thing is, though, people do what other people do. So when it's normal to go to bed on time, people will go to bed on time. When it's normal to exercise every day, when it's abnormal, when it's weird to vape, when it's weird to drink alcohol, people won't do it. So it's just once the cultural norm changes, everybody will change. So it's just that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to normalize don't die. Like that, of course, like why would we want to be sick? Why would we want to feel shitty? That's stupid. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Do you ever get sick?
Rarely.
When was the last time you got sick?
Probably 2 years ago, I traveled with my son for the holiday and he had a cold and so I got it.
Were you pissed at him?
No, it's fine.
You don't have time for that.
Yeah, exactly. You motherfucker. Yeah, go home.
Probably, what the fuck?
What if your son said, hey, Dad, my whole life I've wanted to go skydiving for my birthday. Would you do it with him?
No.
Way too much risk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to sprain an ankle or twist a knee or something.
How about cage diving with sharks?
So I have done some so after I sold my company Bryan Venmo and I did a bunch of adventure stuff. I drove a dog sled in the Arctic. I went to an active volcano in Iceland, like legit plated of lava. I raced cars in the Moroccan desert. There's like a few things like that. I really enjoy adventure a lot. Those are all pretty safe. But
what do you do now besides your routine that, like, I'd say is just different that makes you happy or like normal? Like, do you watch any TV? Do you watch sports? Anything like that? That's just
Out of the
you still do the normal activities, like, or is it completely different?
I'm probably pretty normal on. I don't drink. I don't watch TV before bed. I don't stay up late. But outside of that, pretty normal.
All right, guys, it's 2026. I'm talking to a lot of people, myself included. I feel like this year is the year that if you want to make something happen, you just gotta fucking try it, honestly. And if you want to start an online business, you gotta use Shopify behind the scenes. We've used Shopify back in the day when we were shipping orders out of my dad's garage to having 300,000 people on our website at one time. We've always used Shopify. We still use it today on fullsend.com, and now we use it on happydad.com and any other website that we use. What I love about Shopify is they're there to support you every step of the way. So if you're a small business or a big business, they help you the same equally. They have stuff now that we didn't have back then when we were like really in the depths of fullsend.com merch drops. Now they have a bunch of AI tools. It's like having your own marketing team with you when you use Shopify. If you've had a dream that you've always wanted to try, I got you guys on a sweet deal. You guys can go to shopify.com/fullsend and sign up for a $1 per month trial. $1 trial, shopify.com/fullsend. There's never gonna be a good time to start it, guys. Take it from me. So try it out if you want, shopify.com/fullsend, and use Shopify to take your business to the next level today.
How much did you say this takes up of your day, your routine? It's 5 hours?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's a full-time job because I'm trying to be out in the cutting edge. So my morning routine is 5 hours. And then throughout the day, I'll do, like, for example, today, you see all these boxes here on the table. I did over the weekend, I did 5 grams of psilocybin or magic mushrooms.
Oh yeah, you did that recently,
wow.
right?
Yeah.
Or today you did it?
On Sunday.
The chocolates?
5 grams?
No, just mushroom powder. Yeah.
Wow.
5
Tell us
grams
about
is
that.
a shit ton, no?
It's 2 milligrams shy of a heroic dose.
So you were full tripping?
Yeah.
Did you do it here?
No, I did it in a different state, but I live streamed it.
What?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It went really well.
Dude, that's a huge...
Where'd
that's a
you go?
risk.
What was the vibe?
So what I did, we live streamed it, and then I had a bunch of friends come on that some of my tech friends came on. So I was tripping, and they were talking about psychedelics and tech and stuff like that. Hamilton Morris came on. He did the pharmacopoeia. He's
Of course.
yeah, and then he came on and was hanging out, and then Grimes did a DJ set,
Oh my God.
which was crazy good.
Yeah, you had a good time.
Dude, this
It was
is
crazy good.
This is impressive.
There up at one point there was 1 million concurrent streamers.
What'd you stream it on?
We did XIG, YouTube.
Wow.
And
Fuck. Streaming on mushrooms sounds... were you reading the chat?
No,
Or no, hell no.
I was doing my thing, but it was people are awesome.
So what do you think about psychedelics?
Yeah.
Did you see that new documentary, like about the veterans that are
Yes.
going to that spot in Tijuana, Mexico?
Yep.
That was a crazy documentary.
Yeah.
What do you think about psychedelics and where that's headed?
We're testing them for a longevity therapy. So there's an idea that ketamine or MDMA or psilocybin can be used for PTSD or depression or anxiety or something like that. It can treat.
MDMA as in that's Molly?
Yeah, exactly. It's in trials to be treating for like some kind of disorder. So there's the idea that psychedelics can fix broken things. And so we're now testing, can psilocybin be a longevity therapy? So if someone's rattling off their stack and they're saying, what do you do for your health? It's like, well, I go to bed on time, I sauna, and I do psilocybin. That it would be a commonplace thing, like instead of doing a cold plunge, psilocybin's part of your daily protocol, or part of your protocol.
I didn't know Molly would be in that category though.
So
So if you have PTSD, you could pop Molly and go to like Tomorrowland.
we haven't shown it yet, but we measured 249 biomarkers on the mushrooms. So it's the most quantified psychedelic experiment ever. And so we're testing to say what happens to the body, the microbiome, the brain, inflammation. We're testing all these biomarkers. So what you see on the table is this morning we tested 149 biomarkers post my treatment on Sunday. So we're saying like after doing this therapy, what happens to the body?
And what were the conclusions?
We'll see. We'll get the results back.
Wait, I have a question about the shrooms, because when I've taken shrooms, I feel terrible the next day.
What was your last, where did you do last shrooms?
Miami, 11, little chocolates with a couple other things. But
You can't mix, yeah.
yeah, but even when I've just taken shrooms, like I feel terrible the next day. So you didn't have any of those side
You don't
effects?
feel that bad, right?
Well, my stomach hurt. I had a little hangover kind of from it.
Well, you also, what's in the chocolate? You've got sugar.
Oh, that's true.
So, yeah, and there's a lot of toxins so there's like, if you want to control it. So this is pure psilocybin powder. Also, there's this concept, people talk about set and setting for psychedelics. So they talk about like your mindset going into it and your setting, right?
So important.
Also your body set. So body set is this new idea of, also relevant is how well you've slept. Did you exercise? Where's your inflammation in your body? What's your diet like? And so body set. And so I went into this experience with really good health markers. And so there's a possibility, like for example, if you didn't sleep well the night before, that could have a negative tilt on your experience. So
you got to really go prepared into a trip.
And so then if you have pure psilocybin and you are well rested, maybe you exercise, you've got some, your good diet, good nutrition, maybe your experience will be very different.
I wonder if there's anything you can do with sleep. Like, let's say you get 5 hours of sleep, but is there something you can do to have the same effects where you got 8 hours?
No.
There's nothing like that.
You can cold plunge and get that. You basically, when you cold plunge or cryo, you snap yourself out of that.
So there's nothing there.
That lull, but it gives you like a 2 or 3 hour pump. Then you're back down, right?
Yeah.
Coffee gives you some kind of boost, and you take you back down. You just can't fix lack of sleep.
What do you think about the health benefits of ketamine?
I did ketamine actually with my brain interface company. We measured my brain on ketamine. So we did this under a study.
So what do? You hook up like stuff to your brain?
Yeah, so it's in my office. It's like basically this helmet, bike helmet you put on your head. We built it. It took us over $75 million to build this.
Wow.
But,
and that's all self-funded, or?
I put over 60 million in it. Yeah.
Wow.
For the helmet and the
to measure your brain. So we measured my brain 30 days before, during ketamine, and after ketamine. And what we showed was really cool. No one had ever done the study before. Is when you do ketamine, it opens up this therapeutic window where your brain is in these fixed patterns, in these fixed thought processes. Like, think of your brain like a globe with airports all over the place. The traffic between New York and London is a high traffic hub, but New York to some smaller place in Nebraska is a lesser travel hub. When you do ketamine, it scrambles the hubs. So it releases like this default structure where things are at and loosens up your patterns. So that window is like 2 or 3 days, and then the patterns start coming back and forming, which is why there's a therapeutic window. So what we're testing on psilocybin is it's potentially a stronger way to dislodge your patterns. So you feel extremely youthful and childlike. When I did this, I felt like a kid.
When you did ketamine?
No, I'm sorry, psilocybin.
Okay.
It had a stronger effect than ketamine of dislodging my patterns. Because as a 48-year-old, you start to get pretty stuck in the way you think and feel and act in your responses. But it just took me back to a childlike state. So we're looking at that kind of thing.
But do you still even like enjoy the high or feel the high if you have the helmet, or like it's all study based?
Yeah. I mean, I was laughing uncontrollably for most of the session on Sunday. I just couldn't stop.
So you had the helmet on while you did shrooms?
Yeah.
And you just did you have to just lie down, or?
I did one when I started, one at peak, and then one afterwards.
But like, what setting were you in with the helmet? You were
in a room.
Okay.
Yeah. We did a bunch of other tests. Like I did a saliva test. I was spitting in a tube. We did a thermal map. So we were looking at my thermal imaging. So we did a baseline when I started, and then we looked at my thermal map when I was peak. And you see the blood flow changes dramatically. So the body pushes all the blood to the core. So you get really hot in your chest and throat. Your face changes thermal patterns. Which shows emotions, like the nose. So you see like signatures of joy, arousal.
I'm pretty interested in the helmet because it's like, this is a 1-of-1, right?
Yeah.
So have people hit you up and want to get the same thing?
Yeah, you want to see it? Hey,
yeah,
Carlos?
I really do actually.
Can you grab Kernel? Just unplug it and bring it in without it plugged in. Yeah, it's badass.
You don't get scared of this thing being 60 mil in the crib and people around knocking it over or something?
We have quite a few of them, but this one, takes like it's like 30.
There's a couple 60s out there.
30,000 to manufacture, 35,000 to manufacture.
Do you think psilocybin's going to become more accepted in society? Because it's not legal, is it right now?
No, it's still a Schedule 1 substance. Yeah, it's legal now in yeah.
Just looks like a bike helmet.
Yeah, exactly. It's legal in.
So how much is this thing worth?
This costs about 40,000 to manufacture. So the way this works,
that could be like you should wear that out, Steiny. That's better than wearing a watch. Wear that to the club.
Yeah, I know.
It's badass.
No one else is going to be competing with me.
So if
there's
you
not
wear
going to be any other helmets in there.
You could do this and get a brain age score. So you wear it for 7 minutes. You watch a little video, and it gives you a brain age,
which tells you what exactly.
the age of your the rate
Oh,
the
brain
of your-
age. Sorry.
of your functional brain age. Yeah.
You
So-
swear for 7 minutes and watch a video?
Yeah.
We should all do this.
What's yours
I
at?
think maybe we could talk after. We should do a whole milk video with Brian.
I would
right?
love to see all of
On our
us and
main
our
channel?
buddy Jimmy
I wanna see too.
in the helmet.
This is the thing, yeah. So this is one example. So what I normally do, like we ask, like, when rich and powerful people come, this is what I do. So I help them understand, one, you can measure biological age. You can measure age of your skin and of your brain and of your heart and etc. And then once they get that intuition, then they connect that when you do blank thing, it either increases your age or slows down your speed of aging. And once people make that connection, it's like,
Can I hold it or not?
What's your brain age?
Yeah.
So it depends on when I do it and what therapies I'm doing, but somewhere between like 32 and 45.
I want to drop
Is that
this,
where
man.
you want to be?
I'm always trying to drive it down lower.
My only question on that is like, that's just age. It has nothing to do with how much knowledge you have, right?
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
So yeah, basically you can, because if you think about this intuitively, if you have an 80-year-old and a 2-year-old next to each other, you know who's 80 and you know who's 2.
Right.
First by their size, but also by the skin quality, by their mobility, flexibility. So if you now start narrowing to say 79-year-old, 3-year-old, 78-year-old, 4-year-old, you can measure biological age. So you can look at an 80-year-old heart and a baby's heart. They're different cell structures, different function, different capability. So you can basically measure biological age of your entire body.
I want to get a knowledge helmet.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, to see what your brain is knowledge wise.
Yeah, exactly. To score you on. That's cool.
Yeah, not just your age.
This can test you, for example, of your intelligence on language, on reaction speed, on language fluency. So you can get scored on a whole bunch of different metrics on like how well is your brain and where you rank according to your age group.
Reaction speed's a good one.
Yeah.
I could see like athletes using that and stuff.
Yeah.
That could be good for studies. What else do you have in here? Any other cool,
So many cool things. Yeah.
anything else that's quite like that's just no one else has?
Everything else we have, you can buy generally out there in the market. This is the only thing, because I built this because I'm really interested in the idea of humans merging with AI. That's just like the thing that's happening right now. And so I
Do
thought,
you think that's a good thing?
I think it's like no choice.
That shit's so fucked though, no?
I mean, are we not?
Were you gonna do that?
Yeah, I mean, are we not merged with our phones already?
I know, I've seen Elon Musk say just like the download speed's not the same or whatever, the upload speed, but you also have a choice to, like you said, put your phone away at night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like what, you would get a chip in your brain?
certainly. Yeah,
But then you're just,
That's a huge gamble. What if that chip takes over you?
when it's safe. Yeah, like so when the surgery's safe. Yes, there's issues. There's questions of what the company does and all that kind of stuff. But yes, I mean, if it's safe, augmentation, of course.
You got to know who's
But that's-
controlling that chip, all that, I feel like.
Certainly. And that,
when do you think that's gonna be like a thing?
brain stuff is really hard. So Elon and I actually talked about building a company together. When he went down Neuralink, I did kernel. I went down non-invasive, he went down invasive. So he's sticking things inside the brain. We evaluated that and we decided to do non-invasive. So we wanted to be outside the brain so everybody could do it. It'd be easy to acquire data, pair it with AI. So just different approaches, but we're both probing the brain to try to create a link between humans and AI for improved learning, improved diagnosis, improved awareness. There's, like, for example, we're doing a study right now predicting depression treatments. So if you are depressed and you're considering doing an SSRI or TMS or okay, what therapy do I do? You can wear kernel and get a prediction score on which things you'll be responsive to. So that's under study right now. We also are studying mild cognitive impairment. So when people start having neurodegeneration, it's happening in the brain far before symptoms arise. And so this would show you have cognitive degeneration, and even when you don't have symptoms. So that's really good. You're like, okay, now I know I need to do these following things and be mindful of that.
People
Dude,
don't.
the chip thing though, when that shit rolls out, I'm out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The chip thing is.
I'm out. Like
chip
I'm going
thing
to
is
an
scary.
island.
Humans are gonna like.
I'm going to an island. I'm going to like Asia somewhere. Like
I'm not cool with the chip.
I'm not being a part of that.
What I will
That's
say
crazy.
is people are obviously always fixated on you trying to live forever, but you can do so much positive things.
Yeah.
Like if you could do something for depression where you wear something like that on your head for 10 minutes and it changes you, whatever,
Exactly.
that'd be huge.
Exactly.
So why do you ever think like maybe I should put more focus on that, or you're strictly
It's all I
focused?
talk about. Yes, like we're riffing on this like futuristic stuff. All I talk about: go to bed on time, eat well, exercise, avoid toxins. Do these therapies, don't do these therapies. I talk about the most basic, immediate things because, like, for example, like the biggest thing somebody can do for their health is to kick their bad habit of eating a lot of food before they go to bed.
But don't you think that's like the whole goal? Because there are people that just aren't going to be able to do that. But if there's like a alternative and you can wear something like that and it still gives you those good side effects, then they don't need to change their habits.
I mean, that's Ozempic, right? The GLP-1s. Like if you have a food addiction problem that's impossible to solve, a GLP-1 solves it.
There's a lot of negatives with Ozempic, isn't there?
I mean, I microdose it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are some side effects. Like for example, the dose I'm on will raise my resting heart rate by 2 or 3 beats, which is a big deal for me. But the benefits are great. So it's like the GLP-1s are the first legit longevity drug. If you look at the overall effect on society, it has probably had a bigger consequence on society than any drug of its class.
Positive.
Mm-hmm.
Those people
But everyone hates on it, right?
Why
hates on what, Ozempic?
Yeah.
I personally have my own thought on it. I don't like people that are on Ozempic that sell this like I was disciplined, got in shape story. And I think you should if you're gonna sell that, you have to say, hey, I was on Ozempic. Like,
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, so there's like 2 different things. It worked. You're just saying how they pitch it to their friends, right? Like, yeah, but it still worked.
Yeah. We have a buddy, and it's like, dude, you got to just admit that you're on that shit. Like, I don't see you in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what the shame is. Like, I mean,
there's no shame. I just think,
yeah,
there are people that don't have, and I think this is a problem. Either people do have access to Ozempic that don't think that they do.
Yeah.
But they're out there doing stuff the old school way.
Yeah.
In the gym, discipline, all that.
I mean, it's an amazing drug. Like, what else out there? There's just like nothing that rivals its efficacy. Yes, there's side effects. You have to be mindful about that, and it's not a free lunch. But man, it's amazing.
So you suggest that everybody microdose it a little bit?
It's not too far off. I mean, there probably are exceptions too, but I'm as healthy as a person can be, and I still benefit from GLP-1s.
Just because it suppresses your appetite, or?
No, because my dose is way too low for that.
So what does it do on a low dose?
There's other metabolic effects. It has good neuroprotective effects. Like it has a lot of, and then we're still discovering. But yeah, there's still healthy effects for me.
What are those effects?
Blood glucose. Like if you look at my blood glucose, I'm in the 99th percentile for 18-year-olds. So when you compare my blood glucose management to an 18-year-old, I'm better than 99 out of 100 18-year-olds, for example. You
talk about the live stream, you do it for content. Have you ever thought about like bringing in somebody who's on maybe let's say they got a 5-year lifespan left and just trying to change that, or doing anything for someone like that?
Yeah, man, we have tried that so many times. The thing is, like, once you pull in somebody else, it gets so complicated.
Why is that?
Because will they be compliant? It's like The Biggest Loser, right? That show that became very popular. You just kind of like own their psychology. So when they start having challenges and difficulties, can they be compliant, not compliant? Will they have this and that issue? It's a rabbit hole of complexity, and you're just chasing these issues forever. So we've tried so many times to like make a Biggest Loser style approach of this. It's so hard
because the people don't want it.
Well, it's legal complications. It's like the person's preferences. It's like the risk of things going wrong. So I wish it was easier. We're actually talking to a company now of doing a TV show where we go into people's homes and just outfit their home for longevity. Basic things like get rid of plastic, don't microwave plastic, get a water filter in there, get air quality under control, have routines like when lights go off in the house, get red light in there versus LEDs. So like basic things like that, that's much lower risk than.
I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
So how bad is plastic water bottles?
So there was a study that came out that showed that glass water bottles have more microplastics than plastic water bottles. So this is the thing where when you look at the data,
that's hilarious. Shout out Ashton Hall, by the way.
What's that?
Ashton Hall preaches the Saratoga bottle, the glass one.
Yeah,
it has no plastics or whatever.
Okay, yeah. So funny is that the microplastics don't come from the glass; they come from the lid, and it's the paint that goes in the lid, and then it chips off. And so that's why it's very counterintuitive. You think plastic water bottle made of plastic, a glass water bottle made of glass. The glass has more microplastics than the plastic water bottle. So this is why testing is always the best thing to do on all things. It's very dangerous to have assumptions that.
So how do you drink your water?
In the house, I have a reverse osmosis water system.
And then when you go, like if you leave the house, what do you put it in?
We take certain like we pack water with this if it's like a day trip. If we go somewhere, then we just deal with what we can find. Like if a place we're going to has a reverse osmosis, great. If they don't, we just do our best.
Do you wear AirPods?
I try to do wired.
Wire, is that actually a thing?
So what's the difference?
I like wired
wanna know
anyway.
that. I want to know that.
There's-
What's the difference between the wired and
The evidence is not yet there. So there's a lot of people who focus on EMF, AirPods, stuff like that. I don't know how the evidence is not compelling enough yet for us to really look at this. But people focus on it because they can control it, or they think they can, and it makes sense. But I think the evidence is not there yet to have a strong opinion. So I try to be careful, but it's not there yet.
Do you use ChatGPT?
I use all the models, yeah.
Do you have a person that you talk to, or do you do the typing? Just curious.
Both, yeah. But I use Claude, Gemini, GPT, Grok. So I use all the models.
And just for like simple questions, that you might not even have the answer to, they'll answer for you.
I use them 100 times a day. I mean, it's nonstop. It's like all of human knowledge is at your fingertips, so you can just ask endless questions. So yeah, I'm always engaged with the models.
What's a supplement you think everyone or most people should take?
The one you're most deficient in.
We're mostly like the deficiencies.
So getting a blood test and
Exactly. So the answer is basically if someone's looking for the kill shot, then the kill shot is knowing what they're deficient in. Like they may be low on vitamin D, they may be low on something, and so to find that out, it's best to get a blood test, and then you can really tailor it. But otherwise, like my company Blueprint, we just do all the basic stuff everybody gets on a daily basis. Like everyone benefits from creatine. Everyone benefits from vitamin D supplementation. There's other thing like glycine. So most people think that longevity is very personalized, which it is, but most of it's not. Most of it is the same stuff. Everyone does well with sleep. Everyone does well with exercise. Everyone does well with vegetables, like most everyone, like very rare exception they wouldn't. So most things we have in common.
Talking about like physically, like let's just say athleticism. Where do you think you feel like your 18-year-old self, or you're at that level? Like if you were to play basketball, you could play at the same rate as you were 18?
I mean, my cardiovascular ability is better than, I think, 92% of 18-year-olds. So like my body's ability to use oxygen is better than 90% of 18-year-olds. Now, like, are my joints age 18? No.
Right.
Like I've got cartilage breakdown, I've got some calcification. So could I move like an 18-year-old? Probably not. So again, this is like the idea of you could be entirely 18 and have ears of a 64-year-old. You can correct for some things, but not all things.
Just talking about this, I feel like LeBron's doing some of this stuff because he's 40 years old and he looks like he's 20 out there.
Yeah.
So I think there are more common things that people just don't. He probably doesn't preach it, but he's got to be doing some of the same stuff you're doing.
I know what everyone's doing. Like we're in a very small community. The key is if you stay on top of it, you just have to be ahead of it. You don't want to be chasing it. So you want to be at the beginning of your career doing the right stuff. Do the right stuff, avoid the wrong stuff. But if you can stay on top of it, the body is amazingly resilient. Like the fact that I trashed myself for my entire life. Literally, like as a kid, sugar cereal, sodas, never prioritized sleep, did the entrepreneur thing, grinding for a decade. I was depressed for a decade. Like I trashed myself. And if I can do that and then stop at 42 and then bounce back this hard, I mean, my biomarkers are, on par with an 18-year-old on many levels. What's that?
42.
48.
48?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what the rate is, but like for depression, going off of like your routine, if there's other things that cause depression.
Yeah.
Is it for people that have internal things that you can't help? Is there a solution or something they can do outside of your routine that can help them?
I do try on mental health stuff. I try to focus people on the basics, and that it's hard because when you're depressed, the last thing in the world you want to do is go to bed on time and exercise. Right? You don't. You want to eat garbage stuff. You want to just be lazy. Like I've been there, so it's really hard. Also, the most powerful medications is high quality sleep, exercise, and a good nutrition. And then if those things can't deliver, then you can think of secondary things. But SSRIs have really poor evidence. They're only
Which are what?
So SSRIs, I think the evidence only makes sense.
What are SSRIs? Sorry.
Typical antidepressant meds.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you think about like antidepressants, Adderall. overprescribes, it seems like.
Yeah. If you look at the evidence, right, I think they only statistically make sense with the effect in more severe cases. So most people are on SSRIs when they shouldn't be, when the evidence is not as good. TMS, there's a new protocol called the SAINT protocol, which is really good. That has like an 80% recovery rate of treatment-resistant depression. So that's cool. So yeah, TMS is great.
I just remember when I was in like fucking middle school and there was a kid on Adderall. And I'm just like, this just doesn't seem long-term like it's going to be beneficial for you, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, like, pilling things up is a tough one. Like Americans reach for pills as the first line of defense, and it's just not a good move. We should be doing daily habits as our first line of defense. Then if that doesn't solve it, it makes it easier when other people are doing it. When your friends, again, like, it's all about our friends and family. When your friends and family are doing something, you'll do it too. So it's about changing the culture.
What's your opinion on like DMT and those type of psychedelics?
So 5-MeO DMT just got a breakthrough status approval by the FDA for treatment of depression. So they by a tie. So that also is on a path for treating a disorder. So this is the thing: is if in one lane it's going towards treatment of fixing problems, and then my lane is, do they actually work for anti-aging?
Right.
And so if we can show interesting data that psilocybin has potential anti-aging effects, that would change the conversation. Whereas right now, it's trying to go through a legitimate process of FDA, stamp your approval. Then there's like the underground world of people doing mushrooms for party purposes or whatever the case may be. If it were a legit longevity therapy, it would just change the conversation around it.
And do you think the findings are kind of starting to show that it's positive? Not yet.
There's early data in mice studies and also human cell studies that is promising, but I think we'll need to have more conclusive evidence. But I mean, it's promising.
What do you think drug companies are scared of psilocybin and stuff like that? Like, why aren't those drugs legal, but the stuff that's not working and fucking everyone up, that's legal, right? And prescribed.
I totally agree. It's crazy, right? Like, we have basically anybody can sell poison in society. You can make fast food as awful as you want it to be. You can sell cigarettes. You can like all forms of awful. You can sell porn. You can sell endless scroll. Like, you can sell stuff that makes people miserable, sick. But if you want to try to heal yourself with something, you can't.
Is porn bad for anti-aging?
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do porn. Yeah.
How does that affect anti-aging?
It has negative effects on your brain. Yeah, you probably don't want to make porn. It's like porn is kind of like vaping. It's not a therapy. It's not.
It can be addictive.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just like it. If you're listing out like the 10 best things in my life, they don't qualify for 10 best things. Like, they kind of make you like not the version of person you want to be.
So people use that as therapy too, the same way as like, or it's quote unquote therapy.
Yeah. Anything that controls your behavior, you don't want to do.
How about sex?
Great.
Sex is good for what's the science behind that? Like, how does
sex is great? Yeah.
Yeah, we love sex.
But how does that affect? Like, what's the science behind it?
I mean, so one is there's benefits for orgasm. There's benefits for connection.
What's the benefits of an orgasm?
So I think the evidence was something like
dopamine.
So the men had lower.
This is interesting.
No, I know.
But lower prostate cancer risk if they ejaculated something like 21 times per month, thereabouts. If I remember the study right, it's something
21.
Like that.
Wow.
Something
okay, you need a steady chick for that.
Yeah. So when you get
21 nuts,
when you want to have a kid as you get older, how's that going to work? When you want to procreate, if you're age 100, are you still like good to go?
Yeah. So right now, my fertility markers are better than 99% of 20-year-olds. And so if you look
How do you control that?
So for example, I've been doing a sauna. So a few things. One is getting all the basics right, like sleep, that exercise. Yeah. I've been doing sauna. So a dry sauna, the sauna right there over there.
Sauna's the best.
Dry sauna, 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you put ice on the boys. So if you
in the sauna,
yes. If you
wait. So walk me through that.
Yeah. So just get like a toxic-free, BPA-free, toxic-free ice pack.
Okay.
Put on cotton underwear.
Okay.
And cotton shorts.
And stuff it
stuff it in between your underwear and shorts, and get one or two. And so it's fine. You don't feel it, but keep them cool.
What do you mean you don't feel it?
It's not that ice. I mean, like, you're 200 degrees, so like,
Probably feels kind of nice.
But isn't that kind of like cold plunge too, or is the cold plunge not cold enough?
So it could.
How long do you leave it in there?
The whole time. So I did an experiment. when I did sauna without ice, so they were heated up as much as my body, it wrecked my fertility markers. So it wrecked it by 50%.
So when you're not in the sauna.
So without icing. When I did ice, my fertility markers boosted. They're now, again, like better than 99% of 20-year-olds. So yes, like in that case, like apparently a 48-year-old can be as fertile as a 20-year-old if done well. Now, how far can we extend that? We don't know. But hopefully new technologies would surface where we could get better.
So
and better.
sauna without ice on your balls actually decreases your fertility rate?
Yes. So no man, even if you're not trying to have kids, no man should do sauna without ice.
On your balls?
Yes.
If you're trying to have kids.
No. Because there's never a situation where you want bad fertility markers, even if you're not trying to have kids, because it has negative feedback loops. Like,
so wait, I'm sorry, ice is for kids and no ice?
So you always want ice.
Always want ice.
On your balls.
Always.
Okay.
Because if your fertility markers take a hit, it has a negative feedback loop in your body. So it's a bad signal for the body. You want to be robust always. Even if you're not trying to have kids, if you're done having kids, fine. You still want to have ice.
Does that like increase your testosterone too?
Has a whole bunch of hormonal feedback loops.
Oh
So
god.
always
You have to
ice.
bring a cooler to Equinox, bro.
This is gonna be a problem at public gyms, right?
Yeah. So you just talk to those guys. So I was actually talking to the CEO of Equinox the other day. I should tell him this. They should have a way for people to do this.
Like what system would that be? I mean, you kind of just got to do it yourself, right?
You
Like,
can't put those back on a shelf or anything.
For sure, I know. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah.
You gotta get your own. Everybody brings their own.
Maybe you just keep ice by the entrance. And you stuff your stuff and then you go.
and how long are your sauna sessions?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. So you think cold plunging for like 6 minutes, does that kind of also give that same effect or not really because it's at different times?
Yeah, so it's a good question and we don't know. Like, I don't know what my fertility markers improved dramatically. I don't know if it's because the sauna or because of the ice or both. But something made it. And then also the other thing I did on fertility is I lowered the amount of microplastics in my ejaculate by 87%. So microplastics are a major problem. We all consume a lot of microplastics. Microplastics is stored in the brain, in all the organs, in your blood. And so when I started doing this protocol, my microplastics in my semen lowered by 87%.
Wow.
And like it's a bad, like you don't want to have microplastics in your semen. It's not good.
No, you want to have
Doesn't
strong
sound
semen.
good, yeah.
So this is like a first ever experiment. Nobody in the world had ever tested microplastics in blood and semen. So there was a few studies where people tested microplastics in semen. Every single sample had microplastics.
Wow.
Like every single sample. So our success was first in world demonstration to lower microplastics in the semen and blood at the same time.
That's interesting. Cold pack on your sack.
Yeah, how does stuff like that even cross your mind? Just like you just try something out and you're like, hey, this guy has to be beneficial.
This is why it's cost so much money, is I have a team, we just follow all the evidence. So we go out there and we say, like, what is known about this topic? What are the gaps? What can we test as a hypothesis? And we just measure, like our key thing is we measure everything. So people, like they're up until now, like no one's measured microplastics in their ejaculate. Who's doing that? You know, like
Yeah.
there was a study in Iceland City, but like it's not a common thing. So we just do uncommon measurements, which allow us to have uncommon insights.
How many like people do you have on your team researching this?
Small, it's like 5 of us.
Oh, really? You'd say you have the strongest team out there.
We have a good team. Like we're definitely doing things like in the psychedelic experiment. It's the most measured psychedelic experiment in history. We just produced today. We just showed a thermal map of my body and my face, first ever demonstration. So yeah, we're doing cool stuff.
Do you have any other tests like upcoming, like the magic mushroom one coming up?
Yeah, we have endless. Like
Anything crazy you want to talk about?
they're all still in development right now. One thing we're doing is spicy foods.
A lot of spicy foods.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
No, good. So
Yeah?
yeah.
I love spicy
So
foods.
Spicy is
we're gonna
great.
test it as longevity therapy. So we've got that one spun up. We'll do that one probably in January, February when I'm done with a 3rd dose of psilocybin. We we have so many things we're doing all the time. So like just lined up after.
What about hair loss?
Yeah, so the protocol for that is with my company Blueprint, we've got some stuff. So you want to be on 7% minoxidil, thereabouts, like the basic, that's like Rogaine. Like that's a basic thing. Then you want to do red light cap therapy, 6 minutes a day. Then we create a product with a bunch of peptides and growth factors. And then if you want, you can do oral minoxidil. So I do 3.5 milligrams. I do not do finasteride. the oral because it's very complicated. But that's my hair stack.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, this is
A lot of
very,
interesting
this is very informative. I just like to learn, so this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Has
what else.
anyone gone through like your routine on video with you?
No, my co-founder Kate, she did this as a female. She did it for 90 days. She did the full-on thing, all the diet, exercise, everything, and she has a video about that. It was cool to see her biomarkers dramatically improved. Even as a 27-year-old, her biomarkers improved, which was cool to see. But no one else has done what I've done. I mean, like again, like it's not reasonable for anybody to do what I do, right? It's just like it's too much.
We've had Gary Breck on. I'm sure you know who he is.
Yeah.
And one thing he does is he can kind of predict how long people will live. How advanced are you there? Based off of like someone's blood work, can you kind of predict how long they have to live?
You can do some rough calculations. Like there's like some good open source models to predict that. Like you could definitely, take all-cause mortality calculations. And the more data points you have, the better your modeling. But also you can change it a lot, right? By behavioral changes. You can move your biomarkers quite a bit. So I'd just say like, no matter your situation, there's hope. There's like reason to, even if it's just feeling good the next day, there's reason to, like once people realize that health is good, it's such a weird thing to say.
Well, I wanted to say, I like was going through clips and I see a lot, like there's people say a lot of negative things about you.
Yeah.
Ask you got to be a vampire, shit like that.
Yeah.
But everything you've said, you've backed up with evidence.
Yeah.
So not enough people like talk about everything you claim you back up.
The private circles that I care about, which is like the most powerful people in the world, I do get points for credibility. Like they come to me as, one of the most credible people in the world around this. In social media, you're just going to have that noise
Because you're documenting everything.
Yeah.
And the effects of everything.
and it's like it's good business to say bad shit about me, right? It gets clicks. So like there's incentive for people to have, and it's fine. I'm totally cool with it. It's just part of the process. Bryan Johnson is a normal dude in 2035.
Why do you always go back to that year?
I just use it as like a placeholder.
Right.
He's weird in 2025 because the world is
you're ahead of the curve, right?
Exactly. So in time, people will be like, "Oh, we appreciate this guy because he was actually onto something. He was correct." Like they were saying all the stupid stuff. So I'm just writing out. This happens in history constantly. People see something clearly, they do it. Inevitably happens. Everything changes, and they're like, "Oh,
You
thanks,
get to
person."
see it on social media too.
Exactly. So it's just very predictable human behavior.
You talked about toxins in your clothing and stuff like that. Do you ever think about like dropping a clothing line or opening your own restaurants where people can go and feel better?
Yeah. So we do have fresh foods. My company Blueprint, we deliver that. We looked into a clothing line, but it's like the worst business ever.
Is it really that big of a risk? Like what I'm wearing right now?
You don't want to be wearing synthetics. It's just not good.
What do you use to,
Really?
like,
So where do you shop then?
Just cottons. Yeah, just like try to do mostly cottons. Cottons, hemp, bamboo. Is that right? Bamboo. Like, try to avoid the synthetics.
Is there something different you use to wash your clothes?
Yeah, we try to do this with everything. So
Everything.
Yeah, like toothpaste, detergent. So there's endless things to try to figure out. So we try to be very mindful. Everything in this entire house, we try to be extremely mindful.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's like would you say is the just out of the norm habit that you've picked up on where we would be like, yo, what are you doing? But it's a health benefit for you.
I'm so normalized to this, I can't even see it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even see my own weirdness.
Okay, so you did have bamboo toilet paper. So
yeah, exactly. That's a good example.
Yeah, I tried it. It was nice. But if you go
You took a shit in there?
No, I did a test wipe. I
Oh.
had to. I've never seen that before. So I did do that.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. I wouldn't shit in your house,
Yeah.
to be honest. But like if you go out in public and you have to go,
Yeah.
you stay away from it.
No, it's fine. You're just trying to
you use
minimize
it?
toxin exposure. Like, you want for example, deodorant, you want to avoid aluminums, So there's like, this is like a basic list that you want to avoid toxins on your body.
So conventional deodorant's bad, like Old Spice or like
If it has aluminum, yeah, you want to avoid that. You want to have a non-aluminum.
and everything accessible
now
is just fucked,
everything
though,
we
right?
use, I feel like.
When you realize this,
That's why an American success, like we've traveled to Russia, like we went to Dagestan,
Yeah.
and even like it's pretty much impossible to eat bad there.
Yeah.
Because everything's freshly grown.
Yes.
But here it's so much harder.
exactly.
Because like there's fast food everywhere. Everything that's being sold in stores is
You
bad.
nailed it.
It makes it so much harder.
So going off what he's saying, is there a certain place in the world where it would make sense for them to live the longest based off their lifestyle?
Yeah, a friend of mine is building up, he's written this book on the best places to not die. So he's mapped out geographies on a whole bunch of different vectors.
Which is where?
He has a whole book about it, different regions around the world.
Probably Asia, right? The oldest lady's in Japan right now, right?
I'm not sure. But he looks
we were just there, and I think the oldest lady.
He's what, 100?
120 or something?
You guys hang out there?
No, we tried to.
That's cool.
I wanted to, but it's tough to
She's
get
probably
hold
not mobile, is she?
I don't know. A lot of those Chinese monks and stuff, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the list of the oldest people and what regions they are. There was, yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be weird at one point if you're out, like you're out at the club and you're talking to a girl or talking to a guy and they're mentally 150, but physically 25.
Yeah.
That's gonna make things a little interesting.
I think the future is gonna be a lot weird.
That's going to be weird.
yeah.
Like, who's that old coach that's dating like that 20-year-old girl?
Bill Belichick?
Belichick.
She's
Like,
not
is there
20,
going to
she's a
be
little
like
older.
a 150-year-old dating like a 25-year-old?
Probably.
My
For
God.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all gonna be like CEOs and stuff.
Crazy.
They're already
That's
doing
crazy.
it, just a little bit. Not
Oh
quite
my
there.
god, dude.
I think the future is gonna be really weird.
It's going to be so weird.
That's why I think when you guys about your disposition towards brain chips, I bet you're gonna have a different opinion. Like I think now.
No, well, my fear is like, I know you're going to need it to compete in society. But like,
I think people are gonna rush to do
the
it.
government then can just control everyone too.
but maybe we have controls against it. So I don't think
way.
people talk about brain chips because it's a nice way to fill the conversation. They want to basically take a futuristic concept and drop it and say like that's what I'm talking about. But I think the real future things will be different than that. Like Ozempic is an insane technology. It's just
But like a brain chip, someone's going to control it. So it's like, you're pretty much.
Ozempic is like a brain chip. It eliminates your desire to overeat.
Like, there's
But
benefits
you
to the brain chip,
control, you
but
control when you put the Ozempic in your
stop
body.
taking
You
if you want.
control your hunger with an injection. That's crazy. And hunger is like a natural part of your biological existence, and you can just turn it off. It is the craziest technology that's accessible to everybody. So that's what I'm saying. Like it is like a brain chip level change.
yeah, but that you're still in control of
Yeah,
it.
so I
Once you
think-
have the chip in your brain, that means
So I think
you're not in control anymore.
We'll have more things like that. So the brain chip is a placeholder for saying like future cool stuff. But other things are coming, like gene therapies and other things like Ozempic, which will be equally as badass. They'll just be manifest in other like injections, pills, therapies.
Yeah, I just think that people are gonna rush to do the brain chips, and they're not gonna be like fully ready, and something bad could happen.
That's inevitable.
Yeah. But it's gonna be interesting what happens to that first person where it
Yeah.
turns on them.
yeah.
Gotta live stream that. I can't believe you did a live. Have you live streamed before that?
No, well, so I live streamed my first dose, but I didn't live stream me tripping. I live streamed up until the dose, and then I just did photos. And so yeah, so I have my next dose is in another month, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do for that one.
You're gonna up the dose though.
Probably the same. I did 25 milligrams of psilocybin the first one, 28 milligrams second, so maybe 30. But yeah, 28 was really strong. Like I had to lay down.
I couldn't do that. No way.
So where can people find all the stuff? Blueprint?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on all socials, so I try to publish everything, X, IG, YouTube. Each channel is a little bit different, but I try to freely share everything I learn to everybody. So I try to make it very accessible, understandable, actionable.
Awesome. I mean, this is very interesting. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this.
We got to do something after this for sure.
Yeah,
Not like today, but soon.
yeah. What are you guys leaving here today thinking?
I mean, I don't know how anyone can hate on it. You're kind of using yourself as like a test dummy essentially, but you're also documenting everything you do, and it seems like everything's based on like facts and the results of the experiments.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that don't want to live forever. So it is interesting that you're really taking it upon yourself. But the other thing I really think is important is like the lack of sleep for people. Even I have it, and just kids growing up is so important. And if there's a way to like,
It's tough
really
for people
fix
that work and have kids, right? Like
But
they're
the
working,
most
they come home,
important
then they
thing.
got to take care of the kids, put the kids to bed,
Yeah.
wake up, take them to school. So it is tough. Yeah.
You think the perfect time to sleep is 8 o'clock?
No, everyone has a different chronotype.
Yeah.
So some people do very well at 11 p.m., midnight. So you just need to find out what your thing is and stick to that.
It's all about what you're, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you have genetic dispositions towards a certain time.
yeah. So it's just got to be the same time
I'm
every
an early
night.
bird. Yeah, I love going to bed early, waking up early. Some people really thrive
I
going
like
to bed
that
late.
too.
The thing I want to be clear on is my shtick is not immortality at all. My thing is don't die. So the whole thing on this is I'm saying the essence of this moment, like what's happening on planet Earth right now in this part of the galaxy, is we are giving birth to super intelligence, a form of intelligence that will be likely superior to us in all things. It's an absolutely insane moment. And when this is happening, the only thing that matters is that we don't die.
Why?
Like that is the strongest biological instinct in our existence. Nobody wants to die right now. This is not about immortality. It's not about 5 years from now. It's not about 20 years from now. It is right now. Nobody wants to die. And so the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, as humans, we're kind of crazy. We commit slow death suicide by doing all these bad things to ourselves. We are doing bad things to our planet. We do bad things to each other. We're in this phase where we are violent, we are a destructive species, and I think we're going to mature past it. We're going to get past it. We're like, why would we ever want to die? Why would we do things to make us die? So my ideas are crazy according to 2025. Again, in 2035, I think this will be very normal. Like, of course, the objective of our intelligent existence is don't die. And once you secure your existence, then you can go out and play your amazing games. But we're in this critical stage where it's not clear that humans have a future.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, do we have a future with AI? No one knows. Like, so I'm not a doomer, but I don't believe in utopia, but it's just very practical. Like, this is big, it's important. So let's not be stupid and do stupid shit.
I also just think it's interesting
That's so crazy.
with like religion too, because a lot of people with their faith want to go to heaven, and now it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is cool. Like, so don't die is very friendly to religions. Like, you can be Christian and don't die, Muslim don't die. You can be a democratic, don't die, and capitalist and don't die. So like, you can still believe in heaven, great. But nobody who believes in heaven wants to die to get there. They don't want to die. You don't want to die. None of us want to die. So one thing we all have in common, nobody, no matter what you believe, wants to die right now. It's the one thing that unifies the human race.
Are you religious?
I'm friendly towards religions. Do I think there's an afterlife? I don't know how anyone knows that answer. Like, how is it even knowable?
You may never
it's a
know.
belief. You can't say it's a fact, but it's a belief.
Do you think you'll ever know?
I don't know how you know it. Like, how do you test it?
I'm going to ask you something like, how much pressure do you have, or do you even feel pressure? Because like, you're basically gambling on yourself. Like, let's just say it doesn't work out the way you think it is, and unfortunately you pass away at 100.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the answer for that if you have all the answers right now?
It's the same as now. I mean, I'm imagining when I get to 100, even if I'm decrepit and I hurt everywhere and everything's awful, I probably still don't want to die, right? Like, I still want one more breath. I still want to say one more, I love you. I still want to see my loved ones one more time. Like, if people hang on to life, right? And like, no matter how bad the situation is, we all want one more breath. And so there's nothing more beautiful than the human instinct. We want to exist. We want to survive.
Awesome. Well, I think this was great.
This was awesome. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you.
Yeah.
This is very
Thanks for
interesting.
guys.
Thank you. Bryan Johnson.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.